listen to fall to the floor.
Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Today we're going to be taking a little trip back into history, and we're going to focus on a particular model, a fountain pen made by Parker. They made them from about 1940 to 1948. They were labeled Duofolds. Parker had stopped doing the original Duofold, and just to put it in example, here's an original Big Red, and you can see it how it would compare to these other pens. So it brought the brand back and made it in this very interesting striped celluloid, which has some transparency to it. They gave it the Vacumatic filling system, which was originally brought out with this style of pen, which I love. It's just a beautiful celluloid, but they put a stripe on it. And we're going to start with this two pens, and hopefully you can get an appreciation of the varied color, the depth of the color. It just, I think Parker did a beautiful job. Nice classically designed clip. Your classic Parker jewel at the top. I've been able to collect a lot of pen and pencils. And this was actually an eBay buy, so we'll show you that eBay auction. And I usually do not buy pens that are restored. As you can see, there's the date code there. So this is 1941. I think the person who restored this put back in the gold paint, but maybe they didn't, because these pens were in excellent condition when I got them. I did a little bit more polishing on them and a little bit more waxing just to bring out the detail a little bit more. It's just an unscrew cap, like as most all vintage pens. And for Parker's viewpoint, there's a relatively plain nib on it. They started getting, I think, a little bit later, and a little bit other models, they started putting more ornate detail on there, and then a classic Bakelite feed. This is the mid-size pen. It's probably more on the large size of these Parkers. Just want to show you some other ones. This is the largest model that I have, and this is more of the red stripe. They came in three different main colors, and they varied quite a bit from pen to pen, from year to year, but they still stayed within that range. And this has an interesting chevron cap here. And the other thing it has is the Parker Blue Diamond, which is their lifetime warranty. Same gold jewel at the top. I'm not going to open up this pen because it doesn't have a nib in it at the time. I will eventually put one in. This is a matching pencil, which I was surprised to get. Take a closer look at the celluloid in these beautiful Parker Duofolds. I just find the color and the way that they're done, and the vertical stripes with the black lines in between it, just really sets off everything. Nice clip design. Again, these are simplistic designs. This was not their top of the line. That was the Vacumatic pen. So this was their mid-tier line, but still extremely beautifully well done. These are the three basic colors: your blue, your red, and kind of like your green gold. The colors varied a little bit. With this type of material, you're not going to get extreme consistency. So year to year, Parker also played around with different ways of putting these together. The other thing is there was two different filling systems, well, actually three. The earlier ones in 1940 and 41 had an aluminum plunger, which was very similar to the earlier Vacumatics. And then in 42, they went to a plastic or celluloid plunger. Did to save costs, and also aluminum was a wartime metal, so therefore it wasn't as easily available as it used to be once the war started. I just find these to be extremely interesting. I think they're an underrated pen. You still find them around. Like I said, I got a great buy on that restored set on eBay. If you take a look at some of the more traditional vintage pen sellers, you'll find these running into the hundreds of dollars, but as my viewers know, I enjoy looking for a bargain. I'll spend my time trying to find those. So let's take a look at two blue versions so you can compare the different celluloids that were done and how they were done and what they accomplished. So both of these have a clear section here where you can see the ink level. And because these were later pens, both of them have your, well, no, this is the later pen with this is done in 1942 and this is done in 41. But that's, you know, again, Parker, I think, was unique in what they did in this style. And they basically milked this for about 10 years. 1948, both of these stopped production. They went through a few changes, but then Parker went into other types of pens. And let's just look at this in comparing to the 51, which was sold at the same time, which then turned into the 21 later on in 48. So that's how a lot of things, so they evolved, and so this style took over after that. And then Sheaffer wasn't to be undone, so they had their own striped versions, and I have a number of balances that I'm going to prepare for a video on that series from Sheaffer. But again, I just find the color, the way these things are put together, I mean, obviously the Sheaffer is not as in depth and color variation that the Parker did, so they took two different approaches to that, but again, a simplistic type of clip, but again, a different design. So hope you find those interesting. So some comments for those of you that might consider restoring. I mean, obviously when you buy a pen that's unrestored, it's going to take some effort, and to me the Vacumatic pens are not pens that I've been able to restore. I haven't really put the effort into it. I have the tools and the parts, but it's going to require disassembling the filler mechanism. That requires, like I say, a special tool, and then when you're done you have to remove all the old parts, insert an inverted sack with a little ball in the end. I've seen people do it. I watched videos on it. So it's something that I will participate in the future. But to me, a lever filler with a little bar in here and a rubber sack is a lot easier to restore than these types of pens. And then when Parker got into their 51s, they started putting aromatic fillers in it, which again I find easier to get to work. Most of these, the silicone sack here is in good shape. I only have a few of them that are not, and I've been able to replace that silicone sack when needed. This one was a restored pen by Ron at Main Street Pens. So he took it apart. Again, I watched him do it, but not something I'm willing to do yet. So we should fill up the one pen that I do have that can be filled. I could always dip the other ones that have nibs, but just to show you how much I look for different types of inks, and this is an ink that I've used in a few different pens, and it has a nice color to it. And I think the red and the black in this will work well, picking up the colors reflecting what's in the body of this pen. And also I think it's fine with Noodler's ink and these vintage pens. So we're going to unscrew the blind cap. We'll see the plunger there. So we'll put this in up to the top of the section. We'll listen closely. You can hear that air being expelled. So there's a breather tube in there that expels the air, so you can fill that to the top of the breather hole, but I'm fine with this fill. I don't need it all the way filled up. Put on the blind cap. Cap the ink. So these are all very light pens. So they'll work in the hand unposted. They have a nice length to them. They also work well posted. It posts fairly deeply and doesn't change the balance. So I have not written with this pen yet, so let's see how it works. Let's take a look at how this pen writes. Very smooth. Lays down a nice line. It's a little soft, which I like. It can be fine or it can be a little bit thicker. I mean, I wouldn't even call it semi-flex, but considering most of the nibs in the 40s from Schaefer and Parker are quite stiff, finding one with any flex in it is rare. Waterman continued to put flex nibs in well into the late 40s into their pens, but they also made some stiff nibs. As you can see, it's a good ink flow. I enjoy this color. This is an interesting blue-black, or sorry, red-black. So I'm very happy with this pen. I think it was an excellent eBay find. I love the way it looks. I really enjoyed the way that it writes. The only fillable one of these pens that I have, so it's nice that it works the way that it does. So I enjoy vintage, and when I came across a couple of these pens in my collection, I found them to be very interesting. So I explored and studied and was able to snag a working set from eBay. So that was a nice addition. And I enjoyed the history and understanding how the different pen manufacturers evolved and did things, reacting to market, reacting to materials, reacting to historical events. So that's how I enjoy learning about pens. So hopefully you've enjoyed this view into some history. Thank you for watching. This is the end of 2016, so may you have a very great 2017, because that will be coming up shortly. So until then, may you have great writing experiences. May you explore all the different variations that these wonderful instruments give us, and enjoy life. Bye.